Welcome to week 4 of On Top the Cage. What's happening, brother? What's the word, Bird?
Man, I should be floating from last week.
Uh-oh. Dan's going to talk about his record already. It did go well for him, not as much for me. We will talk about that in a bit. Last week when we ended, we talked about, Dan, you went to the Thursday Night Football game.
Yes, sir.
How was your game? Well, Dan and I both talked on the show about how we enjoy the production at our own homes in front of the TV, and it's so good, and then going to the game is a little bit different. How was it? How was going to the game? How was your experience?
It was good. I mean, we got up there probably about 4:30. Panicked a little bit because the usual tailgate parking lot that we go to was torn up. I think they're putting a building in it. Knew about that, so we made alternate plans, but that parking lot was being torn up as well.
There's a lot of construction in Cleveland. Trust me, I know.
Good friend of mine usually stays at the Renaissance. So if anybody has to go to the bathroom, they can just walk across the street with his key and get in and pee. That didn't happen this week, or last week, so we were a little further away from the hotel, so we just peed on the side of the Jeep.
That happens. That happens to the best of us. I've done that plenty of times at concerts and other events. But everybody, the teams know, or whatever event knows how good the experience can be at home. I mean, what was it like with the timeouts and that experience? God. Did they have good entertainment or what?
When we got to our seats, the new thing is to have some celebrity of some type smash a guitar in front of the dog pound. So right when we got to our seat, they were jamming "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses. I mean, everybody's going nuts. The new Cavs guy,
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he was there with Darius Garland. They were smashing guitars. Then the game played. Our seats were good. Unobstructed club level seats. I mean, perfect. Halftime show was really cool. They had a Pee Wee football team out there, which I'm a Pee Wee guy.
He is. We'll get to the youth football update, I'm sure, at some point in time in the intro.
We can skip that this week. But this Pee Wee team was playing a bunch of Ohio mascots. So Brownie the Elf was out there, Slider was out there, the Guardians. 2 mascots from the Crew. The Blue Jackets had a mascot. I think the Lake Erie Monster. So these kids wearing full pads playing against these mascots. It was hysterical because the kids played like, hey, we're messing you up. And Brownie the Elf went around the end one time, and, man, I thought he wasn't getting up.
He got blown up?
He got blown up, man. 3 dudes got him. One guy got him right by the head. It was classic, but that was good entertainment. I like that. And then the best freaking thing they did between the third and fourth quarter, man, and it's dark, Cleveland at that time, and it was probably a little cloudy. They killed the stadium lights, and I was like, "Holy crap, what happened?" And
are we gonna have like a 20-minute delay?
I'm thinking, no, this is not good. But then they started playing Thunderstruck, and the place just went nuts. I mean, it was it was dark on the field. You could see the players standing there just waiting, what they do for the timeouts. And it was just nuts. So that whole time they were showing commercials in the third quarter, that stadium was just nuts. I wanted to go down there and kick some Steeler ass.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the event people, the marketing, production people, they know they have to up their game because they know how good the experience is at home on the television. So speaking of that stuff, and
they sent me a survey to find out how my experience was, and I couldn't wait to tell them about. Where's the comment section? I don't want to.
You commented?
Hell yeah!
Oh, that's what they want. I mean, they don't want stars. They want someone to say something meaningful.
Yeah,
in regards so they can improve going forward. I mean, that's a big thing for them. So good
going in was
what did you rate?
Too. Oh, I told them that I loved the between the third and fourth quarter. I mean, when they killed the lights and stuff, and that's stuff you can't do during a day game. I mean, if you turn the lights off, is anybody really going to freaking know?
Right.
But at night, shit, it was really cool.
Yeah, and
cool.
It was good at the Notre Dame Ohio State game I went to on Labor Day weekend. You're not done telling the story.
Well, I was just going to say, getting in was a lot easier. They got this, awning thing up, and you just kind of walk through it, and it's, the metal detector.
Yeah. It's all mobile now. I mean, you can't have paper tickets anymore.
No, and then once you get past, because before you had to wait and get in through. Everybody had to go single file through that standing metal detector, but
Right.
now it's just people walking under this thing. And if it goes off, there's dudes there with wands. They'll wand you, but shit, I didn't,
Yeah,
wasn't sneaking a case of beer in like I did in my youth.
Did Mark? You know, Mark did. Mark,
I don't know what he did.
Mark got some.
He didn't respond at all to my text the next day, so I was like, shit, I wonder if he's still up there in Brown's jail again.
Mark smuggling. I'm sure Mark is smuggling something. But yeah, I was at that Notre Dame Ohio State game, and the event, things were awesome during halftime and during the TV timeouts. Things like that. Did you see Ohio State played Wisconsin last week? Did you? I think I sent you the Twitter clip of they had those huge inflatable balls and people running them. You gain momentum. You run.
Yeah.
Did you see Brutus get just absolutely
Brutus
trucked?
yeah.
Oh my God! Clearly targeting.
Yes.
Clearly targeting. So
somebody wanted to nail Brutus.
we had a big week here too. My birthday was Monday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you. We had a great time. I'm like a family person. We don't do much. We grilled. I have what I need, here inside my four walls is what I've always said. We grilled, presents, things like that. It was great. Dan gave me a present. Now he gave me a meat thermometer, which I needed. He said, you got to use a meat thermometer. He thinks I'm an amateur, I think, on the grill.
Nah, it's just easier. I don't think you're an amateur.
My wife, immediately confiscated it.
Yep.
So that happens a lot, frankly. So, but we had a big week here. Let's talk about my birthday for a second. We're both, I'm not wearing a new sweatshirt. I'll just tell the whole story. I've had this sweatshirt for over a year. I bought 6 sweatshirts off Amazon, these gray sweatshirts, and these patches from someone on eBay. And the patches have been sitting in the cupboard over there for probably over a year. I made mine because I found someone to actually do it, a seamstress to do it. But we've had a problem ever since, finding someone to do this. My amazing mother-in-law, Barbara, found someone to do it. Dan's sporting his. All the kids got one. The 4 boys got one. Katie got one. Dan got one. So that was her birthday present to me. She found a seamstress for the band. Seamstress for the band. You know the lyric, right? From the Elton John song? No. All right. Tiny Dancer. Dan knows his music. Anyway.
Not Elton John.
Not Elton John?
No.
All right. I told you it was a big week. Last night, I'm coming off the Post Malone concert.
Wait, did you go?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Keaton loves Post Malone. I really like Post Malone as well. It was up in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers' home stadium NBA basketball team.
Where'd you park?
Oh, that was the whole thing. I mean, I wanted to park what is called the East Garage in Cleveland. That doesn't mean anything probably to our viewers, but it's the one that's attached. Well, the Guardians were playing too, which made it a huge, colossal pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And Post Malone sold out the place, and I think the Cavaliers arena holds 20,000 people. They can only probably sell 16 of them because of can't be behind the stage or whatever the situation is. But it was absolutely packed. Parking. I went down.
Were you smoking a blunt in the crowd? Because Tyler was like, he couldn't believe it. How many
was he
people?
there?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh my God. Yes, parking went fine. It didn't go fine. It was a colossal pain in the butt. And I get frustrated, and I grew up in a really small town, and it gives me a little bit of anxiety to drive in big towns, and when I don't know where I'm going, it frustrates me. I took a wrong turn, which was going to lead back to the East Garage where you only need parking passes. I stopped, rolled down my window, and talked to this cat, and he's got a full parking lot, but he's like, $30, I got one more. I'm like, deal. It was perfect. I can tell you
See, $30. You know what I paid to park for the Browns-Steelers game?
What'd you pay?
$60.
Did you really?
$60. Because Tyler said, I only paid $12 last night,
So
Dad.
the East Garage is $25, so it's a great deal. And here's the thing, it's on the street, right next to Fin and Feather. It's right by the East Garage. It's a perfect way out. I got the last spot. He's like, it was barely off the street. I'm like, I hope nobody clips my Bronco, my vehicle. But we come out of the concert. I give the dude the ticket. He gives me back my key. We went right out. I can tell you, and here's the deal.
Tyler said he got right out too.
My neighbor Brian did not. He went to the same show. I got home at midnight. My neighbor Brian got home at 1+ in the morning.
Hey,
and
I didn't get home from the Browns game till 2:10.
Craziness.
2:10.
But yeah, it was. I love the show. Post Malone. Are you familiar with Post?
Just from what the kids play.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe his music. I think it's probably hip hop genre, but There's like grunge and pop mixed in. He's a very different cat. I love it. Post loves Bud Light. I know that much.
That's what Tyler said. He had a solo cup with and some dude that his job was just to refill the cup.
100%. He's a Bud Light drinker. He's wearing a Darius Garland jersey. He's a big sports guy. Every show he goes to, he wears a jersey from the home team of whatever city's in.
Nice.
Yes. So
because I saw that video when he fell through the hole in the stage. It looked like he was wearing a jersey.
I think he was. That was in St. Louis. I think he was wearing a St. Louis Blues jersey, if I'm not mistaken, when that happened. I'm not positive of that. I know he played in Chicago recently. He was wearing a Peyton jersey, but yeah, that's kind of his shtick. Post loves to smoke weed. His fans like to smoke weed more.
Yeah,
Holy
Tyler's comment
shit.
was like, I didn't know you were allowed to smoke in there.
Holy shit. All I gotta say is, you guys at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse need to open up all the windows and the doors for like the next 3 days or so. Maybe buy some industrial drums of Febreze. Fuck, man, that was a lot. And it was inside. There was lots of like fire and pyrotechnics. I'm like, dude, you know this shit's inside. I burn this motherfucker down. Like it's not outside, man. Like there's huge amounts of fire going on. Anyway, it was a ton of fun. Keaton loved it. I promised. I would ask this question. First concert, Dan. This should be a good thing. Do you recall? Everybody recalls their first concert.
Yeah, I know.
So, and I told Keaton, you're going to be asked this, my son Keaton. You're going to be asked this going forward the rest of your life, periodically, every other year or so. What was the first concert you went to? I 100% know mine. What is yours?
I know mine. I'm not proud to say.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. What we got? Backstreet Boys.
No.
What we got?
Almost as bad.
No. What we got?
Bryan Adams.
Woo! Where'd you see Bryan Adams at? Blossom.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your favorite Bryan Adams song at the time? Come on.
I was a freshman in high school.
This is fucking great, man.
Going out with a girl, and she wanted to go to Bryan Adams.
Here we go. Here comes the backtracking.
Do you want to go? And I'm like, sure, I'll go. And they're, Run to Me was that album.
Yeah.
Summer
Oh,
of 69.
Dude, I had sisters. They played the shit out of that cassette or 8-track. Yeah. I don't know what it was back then.
That was the first one.
Yeah, it was probably cassettes back then. Oh my God, yes, that was a huge album. Mine was much more mainly Motley Crue, the Dr. Feelgood tour. So yeah, that was a ton of fun. I saw them at Indiana State University in Terre Haute, Indiana, about 50 minutes east of my hometown.
I saw that concert at Richfield Coliseum. Did you live here when the Richfield Coliseum?
No. I was a senior in high school when I went to my first concert. How old were you when you? Do you remember what year in high school you were when you went to your first concert?
What? Yeah, I was a freshman. That Bryan Adams.
Freshman in high school? I didn't go till I was senior. Late bloomer. My son Keaton's a senior too. He's a late bloomer. I guess we make them all late bloomers. I don't know.
That Motley Crue concert. I think we went up to the Coliseum and waited in line at night to get the tickets.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have changed, man. Get your paper tickets. We got to do the beer review. We got lots to talk about. I'm not done with the intro, but here we go with the beer review. It's called Hail Mary from my favorite brewing company, Arche. Hail Mary, a football term, right, Dan? What does Hail Mary mean?
Throw a long pass at the end of the game to try and win it.
Yeah, desperation heave, send up a prayer, hope it's answered. Hail Mary. Dan and I are both Catholic. Yeah. I love the can presentation.
There's a prayer on here. It looks like it's in Latin, and so I don't know what it says, but
it says amen at the end.
Hail Mary. If you're doing a rosary to these, you'd be really messed up.
There you go. There you go.
8.5% alcohol. Yeah, I don't think you get through the whole rosary.
Dan and I are both Catholic.
Might be a freaking week-long project.
One of us probably practices a little bit more than the other.
Which one?
That would be you. My wife's not happy. The first thing that really happens when I start setting up the show for the podcast is that, hey, are we doing shots tonight? No, we are not doing shots tonight on the show because it wasn't Dan this time, it was me. And we're going to get in the records in a bit, but I'm not ready to do that because I'm not done with the intro. You taste it?
It's pretty good. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was going to be heavier, but it's not.
It's a New England double IPA.
Look at the color there.
Yeah, it's very light colored. New England double IPA. My mother's name is Mary as well, so that's kind of cool. I love all that. Let me see if I still got this. I do not practice a whole lot. Hail Mary, full of grace. Oh, God.
The Lord is with thee.
Bless the Lord, with these, I guess, are about to receive my body through Christ Amen.
Our Lord, amen.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sins, not the hour of our death. Amen. Wait, I totally botched it. Holy cow, I'm sorry.
That's pretty good for someone that hasn't been to church since
Someone died
Keith
recently?
was confirmed.
Yes, I was certainly there. So that's funny. Friday rewatching has become somewhat of a tradition here, and now that we're on the beer review, I kind of had to last week. The Voodoo Ranger.
Voodoo Ranger, yeah, man. That's a freaking powerful beer.
It may have got the best of both of us. I talked to Dan over the weekend, and I'm not sure I remember who I all picked. I wish I didn't remember when I saw my record come, Sunday night and things like that. But we also talked about last week about getting mums and pumpkins. And none of that happened here. The mum thing, though, I think is partly my wife's fault. She has what I call FSD, flower separation disorder.
Oh,
she's like, my flowers look great. Why would we get moms? So none of that happened. But Ethan didn't miss. I had cut a deal. I told you guys that thing with Ethan where he loves Halloween, and he could put his outdoor Halloween decorations up at the fall equinox, which was Thursday. The Thursday where you guys saw the show last week.
There's not much out there.
Dude, more than the average bear. There's a ghost. There's scarecrows. There's these hands that light up. I mean, I don't know.
You can't even tell
He didn't miss
because I didn't know they were hands driving down the street.
He didn't miss.
So.
You want to talk about your football, Dan?
We got spanked.
Dan's 2-3. It's only a 6-game regular season. I mean, is there a way into the playoffs, Dan?
Believe it or not, there is.
What do we got to do? What happened? What's the formula?
The 0-4 team that just beat the hell out of us last week has to lose to who they play this week, which is the team we lost to the first game in overtime.
Jesus. Dan's team's got like solved pie to get in the playoffs or some shit.
Yeah, no. I mean, we have no depth. Had some injuries last week, and the wheels just blew off the wagon. I mean, our whole wagon, it was just the handle.
The wagon came unhitched.
It was bad. I mean, the last time I looked at the score was 36-6. And I can't remember. I think I told you that was the final, but I don't think I counted the backup quarterback's pick six. So it might have been.
You had a 40 burger put on you?
We might have.
Oh, for the love of
And
God.
I think that was the worst loss in the history of me coaching Pee Wee football.
Really?
I mean, it was just one of those days. The kids just weren't interested in playing.
That happens with 10, 11-year-olds. That will certainly happen.
You get down a couple touchdowns, and these guys are like, "Where's the snack?" I'm
little
like,
Debbie's.
Gatorade. I'm like, I'll give you your Gatorade.
Oh, shit. Dan, he had a great week last week. Went 10-5-1. He's 20.
Woo!
He's 20.
Red Flare. Woo!
He is 22-25-1 on the season. I had the opposite record. I had a tough week. 5-10-1. I'm now 23-24-1 on the season.
Man, after last week, looking at your score versus my score, I'm like, holy shit, I'm never going to catch him. And right there I am, baby.
It can turn quickly. I wasn't alone. It was the best week for Vegas by far in the National Football League season. I knew I had too many road favorites. Betting road favorites is like the death. I knew I had too many road favorites. Dan, you didn't. Dan, it's the third week in a row you've not hit your elephant pick with San Francisco. That was the game against, I want to say, Denver. I did hit my elephant pick with Baltimore. I am 2-1 on the season. I'm still pissed that I'm not undefeated with my elephant picks on the season. It was that Browns debacle against the Jets that both got us in week 2, I want to say. College football, I got it right, Dan didn't. Dan's 2-3 on the season. I'm 4-1. College football is just kind of a tangential thing. Random NFL news. We got the announcement for the halftime entertainment of the Super Bowl. Do you know who it is?
Rihanna.
Yes, sir. I love her. She is that gorgeous Barbadian rude boy singer among many hits. I like that. They also announced the cancellation of the Pro Bowl football game, which, well, not cancellation. They changed it into a flag game, which really isn't much of a change from what it was. So,
holy shit, they should have the mascots play a Pee Wee team.
yeah, I mean, it's not much different. Really, it isn't. So, weather news, that hurricane stuff, we talked about that a couple weeks.
Well, that hurricane.
Ian.
The Tampa Bay, that's supposed to hit
Now.
tonight, right?
Yeah, like now.
All right, I'm not worried about Tampa Bay, but where is it at when the Browns are in Atlanta?
They're inside a dome.
Yeah, but are they going to have power?
Yeah,
Homeless people inside of the dome because there's a hurricane?
I suppose that's a good point. This is the first major one. We had Fiona, go fuck yourself. Hermine.
What?
I named the G, go fuck yourself, because I was mad at the national media about the Bears after the first week and their narrative. So we had Fiona, go fuck yourself. Hermine, and now Ian, which is a real storm. So stay safe, Florida. The neighboring states as well. I have family down there. Tom and Vero, he's on the other side. Stay safe. My buddy Shane's in Tampa. We know quite a few people down there. Billy's in Jacks.
Tampa.
So, yeah, I don't know if you got evacuated or not. So, you guys stay safe down there. And I think we're on to football. We on to football?
Yeah, let's go.
We got a great Thursday night football game. It is the in-laws team. The Miami Dolphins travel to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 3.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 47. Miami is one of two undefeated football teams in the National Football League. They are 3-0, coming off a win against Buffalo. They are certainly the storyline of the National Football League through 3 weeks, I would say. What do you think about this Miami football team?
They luck out. Their defense plays good. The coach cracks me up. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking of a movie that was made where it was like a 70s cocaine thing. I mean, the sunglasses he wears and his hairdo, I'm just like, dude, you fit down there.
He's a little squirrely fellow. I like him. And here's the thing. I mean, I feel like they've tricked some people with the offenses. There's no tape on a Mike McDaniel offense. This is the first time that Mike McDaniel's run an offense. Tua is playing well. Maybe they've unlocked his potential by adding Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle's certainly coming into his own in regards to that team. Did you see the situation with the concussion or the back injury for Tua?
I mean,
certainly fucking looked like a concussion.
I don't even. I mean, when someone looks real drunk or they're concussed, I use the term they look like Jack Sparrow. When I was watching him, when I saw that, I was like, that ain't even Jack. I mean, dude.
If that didn't look like a concussion,
injury?
Right?
I'm like, what the?
It wasn't like he was going like this.
Yeah. He didn't know where he was.
I agree. I don't know. The NFL Players Association's involved. We'll see how that all shakes out. Cincinnati's
how the hell does it take 2 weeks to investigate that?
I don't know. You got to get the medical people involved. You got to interview people. I don't know. I mean,
they should have been interviewed right there on the spot.
I was shocked that he came back in the game.
I mean, hey, when he came back, he looked fine.
He did. To his credit, and he's listed on the injury report as questionable with a back injury, not a concussion. So
they couldn't put that.
He apparently cleared the protocols. I don't know. Cincinnati's 1-2. They are 3.5-point favorites again in this game. Over under is 47. We talk about Buffalo. Cincinnati. I mean, they come off that win against the Jets. They obviously needed to win. They started the season 0-2. They got playmakers on this team. The offensive line played better. You see the uniforms for the Cincinnati Bengals this week? White helmets, black stripes. All white, black. White helmet, black stripes.
Are they wearing white jerseys?
Yes. White jerseys.
At home?
White pants, white helmet with black stripes. I think it's going to look awesome.
I don't like wearing white at home.
Dude, those helmets are fire. I love them. I think they're great. We know Cincinnati's potential if the offensive line can keep Burrow upright.
I saw today that Lyle Collins didn't practice.
I don't know, but they did a much better job. It was the Jets of protecting Burrow. They got tons of playmakers on this team. Dan, Cincinnati minus 3.5. What do you think?
I don't know. This one scares me. I want to go with Miami, but there's too many question marks. Is Tua going to play? Who else was injured?
For the Dolphins?
Yeah.
I don't know definitively.
Their defense is really good. Cincinnati hasn't played. They're in our division. I want them to lose.
It's taking forever.
I know. You go.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
I was going to go with them, too.
What's the rest of the thing?
Welcome.
We are the people that you find.
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle. Who dey? I think that they win this game. Here's the deal with Miami. I've touted their defense, but I don't think they played that well. The opening week, they played a very limited offense against New England.
They're playing catch-up, too.
In Baltimore, they got shredded by Lamar. But a lot of people get shredded by Lamar, and they found a way. They scored 28 points in the fourth quarter. Last week against Buffalo, Buffalo outgained them on offense
double.
by I think Buffalo nearly had 500 yards of offense. The Finns had 200. Their defense, I don't think, is playing up to its potential. Hooday. I think that it's going to be a raucous atmosphere.
It was the corner that was hurt.
Xavier Howard?
Yes. That's the other guy I couldn't think of. Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati.
I'm pissed I can't get this lick. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We are the people that you find. Damn, that's completely wrong. Anyway, all right, we're off that. Next, we got a game in London. We got a 9:30 a.m. start on NFL Network on Sunday morning. Breakfast beers queued up. It is the Minnesota Vikings. I would say traveling New Orleans, but they're not. They're both in London, taking on the New Orleans Saints. Minnesota's a 2.5-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 44. Minnesota's 2-1 on the season. New Orleans 1-2.
Now hold on. The Kansas City at Tampa Bay. I heard today that if they can't play at Tampa Bay, they're going to Minnesota to play.
That's right. U.S. Bank Stadium. Obviously, Minnesota is.
Why the hell wouldn't they go to New Orleans, the Superdome, if that team's not there either?
Well, maybe they're worried about New Orleans, too. It's not that far away from Tampa, storm-wise.
Okay.
I heard the other option was Foxborough in New England, but it's going to eventually rattle up the East Coast. But yeah, that was the NFL decision that if this game, it's not this game.
The Tampa Bay game
can't,
because
if
of the
it
hurricane.
can't be played, it will be played in the Minnesota Vikings Stadium at U.S. Bank Stadium. I don't know why we went there so early.
Because we're talking about Minnesota and New Orleans being in frickin' England.
Fair enough. Minnesota comes off their win against Detroit. Probably a game they should not have won. They were down early. They found a way to win it. Justin Jefferson hasn't really been involved since the first week as far as the numbers that he's supposed to put up. New Orleans offense just sucks. And there's a question whether or not it's Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton who's going to play this game. And I don't know if it's a performance question or if it's a health question. Kamara played last week.
Did he?
Yeah, New Orleans, they lost in Carolina.
2 first-year head coaches going over and playing in England.
Damn, big head coach guy.
I bet the England, 2 shitty teams coming over.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, Jacksonville's normally over there, overseas, but they're not a shitty team, and they're on the board coming up, and I can't wait to talk about them. Minnesota minus 2.5, over under 44. I'll take the lead.
Minnesota.
Me too. They're the more talented football team to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dalvin Cook's playing. There's a question with his health. I like their backup. Alexander Madison is a very good back. Probably would start on a lot of National Football League teams. We both like Minnesota minus 2.5 in this game.
Yep.
I think they're a more talented team. I agree. The Sunday 1 p.m. slate starts with Dan's Cleveland Football Browns traveling to Hotlanta.
Oh.
Atlanta, hometown brother-in-laws Teddy and Grant. Cleveland 2-1. Atlanta's 1-2. Like I said, Cleveland's a 1.5-point favorite in this game. The over, and expecting a lot of points, 50. Cleveland comes off their win 10 days ago, so they're well rested against Pittsburgh, the game that Dan went to. Talk to me about your Cleveland football team. What's your impression through 3 weeks?
Well, I'm worried about the defense. We lost Anthony Walker. What was it, a tendon or quad injury? He's out for the season. The Joker.
Yeah.
He got hurt, groin. Haven't heard much about him.
No damn kid we love. And then there was an event this week that happened that maybe take
Miles, Ricky Bobby Garrett wrecked his freaking car.
Right.
So, I mean, I think he's going to travel. I think he's going to dress. I don't know how much he'll play. He might play as needed, but, I mean, you flip your Porsche over, I don't know how many times, 3 or 4 times, you're going to be sore as shit. His neck was already sore. And then we're missing Janavian Clowney. I haven't heard anything about his ankle injury from the Jets game. He did not play last week. They announced that pretty quick that he wasn't going to play, so that concerns me. They haven't said if it's a high ankle sprain or where the sprain's at. So basically that leaves 2 rookies starting for the Browns on defense, and then the linebacker situation's a mess.
They're certainly banged up on defense. There's no question that their talented running game is going to travel down to Atlanta. Brissett's played well, though, I feel like. I mean, you call him game manager, but he's played well, right? He's played well, I feel like.
He manages the game. I mean, he's got one pick this year, and it was that garbage one at the end against the friggin' Jets when, the defense screwed that up. So I got to go with the Browns. They're my team, and that line, that's close enough. I'm picking them. I mean, it's a friggin' push.
I believe
Atlanta can score. That's the problem. Their defense blows, but Atlanta can score.
Atlanta comes off a big win out in Seattle, which is a very difficult environment to play in, certainly. They got Pitts going. Drake London looks like a real player. That's two London references. One's a city, one's a player. I don't think that'll ever happen on the show again. I'm not positive about that. But their offense is coming around. Mariota's an athletic quarterback. They're a dangerous football team in regards to the offensive side of the ball. Are they going to be able to stop this Browns rushing attack is the question. I don't think they are. I think the Browns are a better football team. I think they win this game. I think it's a really good game. I think everybody's going to be sweating this out. Atlanta's not
Browns game haven't you sweated out?
Right.
Even against the Steelers, I'm like, there's too much time left on the clock.
Although Atlanta
onside kick, everybody was having a heart attack.
Oh, God, yes. Again. Like
here
deja vu. Here we go, is right.
I ran down before they stopped selling beer so I could get some more.
We're going into overtime. They're going to lose this onside kick. That's funny. I think Atlanta is a young team that is unsure of how to close out games, although they did it last week in a tough environment. And I do like that offense going forward, but it's that rushing attack for the Browns, which puts me over the edge in regards to my pick. I'm going to take the Browns minus the 1.5. Next game on the board, a really good football game. The Buffalo Bills travel to Baltimore. Both these teams are 2-1.
How's this not a Sunday night game?
That's a great game, right? Yeah. The Bills have been installed as a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Baltimore. They're expecting a ton of points, 52 points in this game. The Buffalo Bills come off that loss in Miami that we talked about briefly. They're banged up, too, a little bit. There's a lot of injury talk this week. I'm not worried about that offense. Do you see that Dorsey meltdown after the Bills lost that game?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I agree.
You couldn't go down there and beat the hell out of that dude for not getting out of bounds, so you throw your tablet and your papers and shit.
You put up 500 yards of offense on a pretty good
he
defense.
wanted to MF him.
And couldn't put the ball in the damn end zone. Look, that's the type of dude I want on my coaching staff.
Yeah.
If you don't care, I don't want you on my team. Obviously, Ken Dorsey cares about his offense. And the players respect that immensely, I'm sure. I mean, they're like, that dude's got our back. Like, he wants to win. He wants us to be better players. So, I love the reaction. I don't think he should take any shit for it at all.
Dude's got a clear path to the sideline, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to cut and turn left. What the hell?
This game, I mean, probably the two leading candidates for MVP right now in this game in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Baltimore, they come off their win against New England. They put up a bunch of points again, but here's the thing.
Is that tough to do? I mean, New England does not look good.
No, they're a bad football team. And we'll talk about them when they come on the board. They travel to Pittsburgh. I mean, here's the thing with Baltimore and me, though. They got to have more than Lamar. Lamar is counted for 87% of the offense between the passing and the rushing.
Hey, you can kind of say that about Buffalo.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, their running game isn't great, but it's not as one-dimensional as Baltimore is, though. I mean, but who's going to stop Lamar Jackson? It's like playing a Madden player.
Trade one of our running backs to Buffalo. Who could we get back? I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I agree. I mean, you add a stud running back to the Buffalo Bill roster, and I agree. I mean, it may happen at the trade deadline. That doesn't come up for probably another 4 weeks at least, I think. Buffalo, once again, minus 3.5 in this game, over under 52. Damn, they're going to win this game by 3.5?
I don't know.
They're going to win this game? They're banged up. I mean, both of their stud safeties are out. And that's Micah Hyde and I always screw up his name. Poyer? I mean,
Justin? Is it Justin Poyer?
I don't know. I don't know exact name.
The last name's Poyer. I know that. Man, I don't know.
I think this game's super tight. I hate it. I will not personally play it. I'm going to take the Ratbirds, as Dan unaffectionately calls them.
I want Buffalo to win so bad. Do we play Buffalo? The Browns don't play Buffalo.
Well, Baltimore plays them. Why are they playing them?
I think it has something to do with your...
No, bullshit. They play them. They played the Jets already. They 100% play that division.
Oh, then we're going to fuck them up when we play.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't know. I'm regretting my pick almost already, but...
I'm going with Buffalo. Screw the Ratbirds. I don't care.
I'm going to take Baltimore just because how banged up...
Hopefully that hurricane comes and takes both these teams out to sea.
That's not going to happen. I hope not, at least. We're
then
odds
take
again.
the next two games out to sea. But
you're on Buffalo?
To Dallas. I'm on Buffalo.
I think that's a safer pick, and I think part of the product of me picking Baltimore this week is that I got beat up last week taking road favorites, and I vowed to myself I wasn't going to do it again, but I don't know. It's difficult. Next game on the board is a division game.
So wait, who are you on?
I'm on Baltimore.
All right.
I'm on Baltimore.
Took the Ratbirds.
I did.
With Mudbutt.
Like I said, I almost have immediate regret about it because I think certainly Buffalo is the better, well-balanced football team. But these road favorite things are difficult.
Play last week?
He did. Limited basis, I think. I'm not positive of his carry load or carry share, if you will. Next game on the board, the Washington football team travels the Big D. Dallas division game. Nice. Washington's 1-2. Dallas is 2-1. Dallas is a 3-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 42. Washington football team, they come off of a game against Philadelphia where they lost at home. Philadelphia kind of looks the part. They look like a pretty good football team, and we'll talk about their offensive, swagger as they go forward. But I don't think this Washington football team, is very good on either side of the ball. No. I really don't. I mean, there's nothing to write home about either side of that ball in the game. It's a huge game. Dallas, Cooper Rush has played well in replacing Dak. I think Dak's going to be back next week against the Rams. He's not back this week. It's going to be Rush's football team. But he certainly looks like a capable quarterback. I watched the game on Monday night, and he's fucking slinging it around.
The game was awful.
It was awful. It wasn't a great game.
It was awful. Let's be honest. Cooper Rush is a backup, and he's surviving. You need a backup to survive. Jacoby Brissett is a backup. He's not. We're not losing the game because of the quarterback for the Browns. Dallas is doing the same thing.
I can't tell you how many times I talked about you can't win if you don't have the chess piece. I'll take the lead in this game. I still think Dallas at home is a considerably better football team. I like this game a lot in Dallas' favor. I like the momentum that they have. I like the thought process that we got one more week here with Cooper Rush, and then we get our theoretically stud quarterback Dak Prescott back. Let's win this game. We're 3-1. We get Dak back, and who knows what happens. I like that mentality. I think that probably Dallas is going to bring into that game at home. I hate McCarthy as a coach. I think he's a
terrible.
Shitty coach. I like Dallas a lot in this game. We're both on Dallas?
Yep.
Dan and I are both on Dallas -3. How about them Cowboys? Next game on the board, the Seattle Seahawks travel to Motor City, Detroit. Detroit's 4.5-point favorite. How about Detroit being favored again this season? They've shown pretty well so far. They're 4.5-point favorites in this game. Over under 50 points, expecting a lot of points. Seattle comes off of their home loss against Atlanta. They got outscored. They couldn't stop Mariota, Pitts, Drake London at the end of the game. Defense got torched by Atlanta. The defense isn't playing well. They're limited on offense with Geno.
Yeah.
They're going to be limited all year. We say Geno like there's going to be somebody that's going to resurrect his team and come in. It's not going to happen. No. It's Geno's team or it's Drew Lock's team, but what the hell's the difference in regards to that? Detroit.
Unbelievable loss.
They led 14-0 in this game. They led 24-10 in this game. Somewhat late against Minnesota on the road, division game. A Minnesota team that I think quite a bit about in regards to their ability. They pissed this game away.
Yeah.
There was I think probably a bad decision by Dan Campbell fairly late in the game not to go for it and end the game on a 4th and 3. I know it was pretty close to midfield. I also know he regretted it. He was upset with himself for not putting more confidence in his kids, his players, and saying, let's just go fucking win this game right now, which has always been his mentality. But they've scored a lot of points this season. They scored over 35 points the first 2 weeks of the season. Last week, they scored, I want to say they lost the game by, I don't know, I think they scored in the 20s, but they lost the game. No DeAndre Swift, though, has been running well for them. He's a good running back. But they found different ways. And they're not far off away from getting Jamison Williams, their, I want to say, like 4th, 5th, 6th overall pick in the draft back to add to that offense. Aronma St. Brown has turned into a superstar in the league as a wide receiver.
Yeah. Looks good.
Detroit, minus 4.5 in the game. They're going to cover this number, Dan.
I'm taking Detroit. Why not? Screw it.
Not why not. Me too. I think
I think Goff is better than Geno Smith. That's really my only rationale.
I think the playmakers are better. Yes. Distributing the ball. Goff's a pretty good distributor of the ball.
Right.
And he has weapons.
Yeah.
So I know they don't have Swift, but I guarantee Dan Campbell has that team wildly fired up. And he probably told them, that loss last week was on me. You guys did nothing wrong. I fucked up the game. And we're going to fix this right now. And you guys are going to go out and win this game. I think he's got his team, like, going to go bonkers coming out in this game. It wouldn't surprise me if they take a big lead early in this game. We'll see what happens. I like Detroit too, minus 4.5. They make me nervous in this division. They're a dangerous football team. I don't know if necessarily for the playoffs this year, but they're going to be a pain in the ass for whoever they play, whether or not, in division, if it's Green Bay, Minnesota, or Chicago. Next game on the board, the Los Angeles Chargers. They travel to Houston. The Chargers are a 5-point favorite in this game. Over-under is 44.5. The Chargers come off an absolute beat down at home by another big story in the National Football League through 3 weeks, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chargers, they're 1-2 on the year if I didn't say it. I don't know if I did. Houston's 0-2-1. The Chargers are beat up by injuries. They're kind of like the Baltimore Ravens of last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Herbert's hurt.
Well, how funny was it?
Rashawn Slater, their big tackle, hurt.
Bosa's
maybe gone
on
for the year.
IR.
Bosa on IR. They're really, really banged up. They travel to Houston.
How funny was it that everybody knew that Herbert had a rib injury and that, there's painkillers and stuff, but the story was, that's the same team that punctured.
Right, yeah. Don't let that guy.
Yeah.
Don't let that guy inject you.
It's like, come on, these guys get shot up all the time, and the news media just has to sensationalize bullshit to make a story.
Right.
NFL players get shot up with painkillers all the time.
Right and
if
left.
you don't
He's
think
right.
that's true.
He's right. He's 100% right.
And one time somebody punctured a lung. Come on. You know he was going to dope up. When that story came out, I was laughing. Oh, maybe you shouldn't do it.
That's one of the very many dark sides of football. It 100% happens. It 100% happens. Herbert's going to play. He had a rib injury. And the shitty thing about rib injuries, there's nothing you can do for him. But Herbert's going to get better and better and better, in regards to pain level going forward. You just can't do anything about it. But
stretching cartilage, I would call that stretching some fat.
Right?
I don't need a painkiller. When I played goalie, I didn't need no one was shooting me up.
Right.
I just drank more beer when I was done.
Fair enough, yeah. However you want to do it. If you want to get injected by...
That's because the last guy that got shut up had his lung punctured for our team.
Tyrod Taylor is who you're referencing. By the way,
I'm talking about the ball busters.
I thought about talking about... You see where Tyrod Taylor filed a lawsuit against that guy?
Well, he should.
I agree, 100%.
What the...
Fucked up his career a little bit.
Some freaking attorney probably said, hey, you got a case.
Attorneys, douchebag attorneys. It's just time for Herbert. But the problem with the Chargers' injuries, it's to their key players. It's like to their best players. Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Rashawn Slater, Justin Herbert. It's not like these injuries are happening to, the small parts of the team. They're happening to the chess pieces of the team.
Joey Bosa seems to get hurt a lot.
He does get nicked up. It's a difficult position he plays in. They're all difficult
Didn't he have
positions.
That core thing here?
Core, yeah, it's a core thing. Yeah, I don't know what that really means. I've heard about that. You just can't play and all parts of your body hurt. I don't fucking know what that means. I'm not a medical doctor. Houston, they're 0-2-1. They come off a loss in Soldier Field against the Chicago Bears. Their identity is running the ball. Davis Mills, okay. They're just an average football team. They are. I saw them play every snap last week. They're an average football team. The Bears didn't win a game because they got a turnover late, but that has nothing to do with this game. I mean, their offense is struggling. They want to run the ball. I mean, the Chargers are a better team. Are they going to come out like wildly pissed off? But they just don't have their playmakers.
No, this line scares me. I'm going with Houston on this one.
Me too.
I think the Chargers win, but they're not going to cover the 5.
I agree completely with Dan. We're 100% on the same page in regards to pick, and part of it's a product of last week. I'm done picking road favorites. Not completely across the board, but I had like 6 of them last week, and it didn't work out for me. Winning on the road in a National Football League, I don't care who the F you're playing, it's difficult to do. It really is. Next game on the board, division game, a big division game, really. Tennessee at Indianapolis playing the Indianapolis Colts, jeez. Tennessee 1-2, the Colts are 1-1-1. They had that tie down Houston opening week.
Who did they play the week before and didn't score a point?
Indy?
Yeah.
Jacks. Down in Jacks. Indy's
How the hell did they come back and beat Kansas City then?
We'll talk about that. I watched that game. I lost money on that game personally. The Indy Colts 1-1-1 on the season. They're 3.5-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 42.5. Not a lot of numbers in regards to points expected, at least on Sunday in Indianapolis. Tennessee, they come off a good bounce-back win. They really do. That game against Las Vegas at home, I didn't think they were going to win the game. That was another road favorite I took last week that I lost. They were able to run the ball. They kind of got Derrick Henry going. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of a one-dimensional football team. They're a very well-coached football team, and Mike Vrabel certainly. I have no qualms with that. Indianapolis won a game that they had no right to win against Kansas City. And I say that because Kansas City turned the ball over, had I want to say a punt. They had a pick six. I don't know what. There was lots of turnovers and things that happened, and they didn't execute in the red zone. I mean, they didn't have any right to win that game. They did win the game, saved their season to an extent. You know, Indy's favored by 3.5 in this game. Are they more than a field goal winner against Tennessee, or is Tennessee going to win this game? Starting to rain here. I think Dean started looking that way.
I'm like, this weather pattern we're in since Sunday, it's halfway decent, and then all of a sudden it rains.
We're supposed to have a gorgeous weekend, gorgeous fall weekend now.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
sunny and high like 60s and change.
Since Sunday, it's done the same shit. And I know we're really getting off topic, but have you been on 619? You don't have to go pick up Keaton anymore.
No.
619. You know where that shitty antique store was?
Yes.
They sold that property and they're putting apartments there. You should see the freaking mud. My foot.
They're going to put an apartment complex there?
Yes. And my freaking Jeep is.
Well, hold on,
it's
Dan.
Unbelievable.
That's not, I mean, tremendously far from your very nice neighborhood that you live in.
Yeah.
But what kind of apartments are going to be is my question. Like, I mean, we don't want riffraff apartments.
My wife
It better be fucking high-end
she heard they were
apartments.
Section 8. And I'm like, that better not be Section 8 bullshit.
I don't want to get on this topic too much, but that's a scary thing. There's a not so nice apartment complex that isn't terribly far away from my neighborhood.
Yeah,
and
over there.
Known that people come through cars and things like that, and you know they track that stuff.
Catalytic converters keep. I mean, I read that shit in the local paper.
Right.
I'm like, you can't park a car outside anymore.
What the fuck do you do with a catalytic
They
converter?
turn it in to get freaking money at a scrapyard. It's got all kinds of.
What's the metal that they want?
The shit inside, I guess, is supposed to be that high end stuff.
Steven,
you can get a job.
You can come take my fridge.
You can make $20 an hour making pizzas.
We have a fucking problem if someone takes the fridge out here because they like the coils in the back or some shit.
Yeah.
We're way the fuck off topic. Indianapolis minus 3.5, Dan.
I got to go with Tennessee. I'm not sold on Indy. There's something wrong there. I've never been a Matt Ryan fan. I thought he would correct some of the stuff there, but hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Let him run. Don't let Matt Ryan win the game for you.
Yeah, here's the whole crux of the game. Who runs the ball better? I think between Derrick Henry and John Taylor. Indianapolis got their weapons back. I'm gonna lay it. I'm gonna lay it at home -3.5. I'm gonna take the Colts -3.5 in this game. Next game on the board: Chicago Football Bears travel to the Meadowlands. The New York Giants. Giants are 3-point favorites, field goal favorites, if you will, in this game. Over under very low, 38. Rightfully so. The Bears are 2-1. Same record, Giants 2-1. Chicago comes off a win in Houston. They were able to run the ball. I got a lot to say about this team, and I'm not going to make it too long.
Which team?
The Bears. I have tremendous concern for Justin Fields. There was a lot of questions about the offensive line going into the season for the Bears. They played really well. They've given Justin Fields time. He's made bad decisions. He's made poor throws. He has not located receivers that are open. There's a lot of red flags in regards to Justin Fields. I know he puts the time in, and I thought he was certainly going to be the franchise quarterback. I'm very concerned whether or not he's a real deal National Football League quarterback at this point in time, because it's not the offensive line. It's not his lack of playmakers, because they're getting open. It's not the defense. It's fucking him, and he's got to play better. He knows that. If he does, the Bears are a pretty decent football team. They're a better than average football team, but it's Fields. It's 100% Fields, and anybody who wants to say that it's not him is fucking lying to themselves as Chicago Bear football fans. So I'm out here to tell you that.
Man,
the Giants,
that's harsh.
It's him. I watch every snap. It's him. The New York Giants. They're -3. They're an improved football team, certainly under Brian Daboll. The two identities of the football team is running the ball. It certainly is. Saquon Barkley kind of looks like he's the runner from his rookie season. He looks great. Daniel Jones. The Giants come off their loss at home against Dallas Cowboys. Was it Monday? It was Monday night, right?
Yeah. It was the worst freaking game to watch ever.
It was a horrible game.
Terrible.
I don't think
Sucked.
that
NFC
much,
East. Why do we got to watch that shit?
I don't think that
Monday
much,
night. Sucked.
I don't think that much of Daniel Jones as a passer.
No.
That fucking guy can run. Like, goddamn.
He can run.
I
Saquon
guarantee
can run. They should have beat the Cowboys.
I guarantee.
Colin Ray plays.
I'll be out here on Sunday at 1 p.m. watching this game, and it'll be 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, and I can't tell you how many times I'm guessing I'm going to go like this, like, oh, because Daniel Jones will break the pocket, and the guy, like, fucking turns on the Jets. Like, he's fast. That guy's fast. Anyway, I'm worried about Daniel Jones as a pocket runner, if you will. If that's such a thing, I might have just coined it. But he breaks the pocket, and then, like, he runs away from the backers. I don't know. The Bears have to certainly scheme for that. Giants are 3-point favorite, field goal favorites in this game. They're going to win the game at home?
No, I'm taking Chicago.
Me too. Here's the thing. I think it goes either way.
The Giants suck. I mean, everybody watched that game. They're not that good. They were not that good.
Fields
the Scottish Hammer is punting for him.
That's the ex-Cleveland Brown punter. If Fields plays the way he did at home against Houston, the Bears will lose this game by a touchdown. I mean, he's got to play better than that. If he steps up his game, they're fine. I think this game ends up seesawing. I think it goes one way or the other. I think it's right at the 3-point number.
I pity you for having to watch this game.
Oh, every second. I can't wait. All right, next game on the board I think is a really fun game. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the other undefeated football team, by the way, in the National Football League. Jacksonville's 2-1. Philadelphia, like I just mentioned, 3-0. Philly is a 6.5-point favorite in this game. Over-under is 48.5. Why would you leave on such a great game? I listed this as one of the other marquee games, along with Buffalo and Baltimore. I think Jacksonville's the other storyline of the National Football League. I think Florida, the state of Florida, has the two biggest storylines in the National Football League so far, and it's the turnaround of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I give a ton of credit to their head coach, Doug Peterson. By the way, Doug Peterson goes back to his stomping grounds where he won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. Just a great start to the season. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing well. Christian Kirk somehow is earning his money as what everybody viewed as an overpriced free agent acquisition by Jacksonville. But it's not the offense to me. Dan's still going to the bathroom in the rain. Had to go bad. It's the defense that's playing so well. I mean, Jacksonville comes off of that wildly impressive win against a very talented Chargers team traveling cross country. They fucking destroyed them 38-10 or something nuts like that. I mean, it wasn't a game from the beginning. I love that. It was a dominating road performance. Let's talk about Philadelphia for a second since I'm solo here. I mean, they looked the part. I like them in our season prediction show to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. And I'm not shying away from it. I promise you that. Hurts looks fantastic. Devontae Smith.
It's raining in the bathroom.
The outdoor facilities need better cover. You okay?
My shoe slipped. I need to get some new ones.
Slick out there. I just raved about the Jags, and we'll talk about Philadelphia. And I said Philadelphia, you know, they were my Super Bowl pick or NFC representative in the season prediction show. They look great. I mean, Hurts looks great.
I heard all the
A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith has really been involved the last couple of weeks. Philadelphia -6.5.
Philadelphia, I'm going with them. Jacksonville, no, I'm not sold on them.
Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville. I like them a lot.
You like Jacksonville to win or
I like them
lose
to
by under 6?
I like this game to come down to the buzzer.
I
do. I think it's a last possession game. I like the way the Jacksonville defense. I mean, that performance out across the country in LA against a talented Charger football team that's banged up. Don't get me wrong, but they fucking kicked their ass from the opening buzzer to the end.
Okay, we're going to find out how good the Chargers are because Jacksonville ain't going to survive.
Jacksonville. I love the Jags getting 6.5 in this game. I think this is a field goal game. Philadelphia probably has a little bit more resolve. Maybe Jacksonville is such a young team they don't know how to win this game, but I think they're in this game to the finish line. I like the Jags a lot in this game. Next game on the board, New York Jets play in Pittsburgh. I know that was a long time talking about the game. Maybe we can go quick on this one. Hey, the big storyline is that the Jets get Zach Wilson back, but let's do the line. Pittsburgh's -3.5 in this game. Not a lot of points expected. 41.5. Jets come off their home loss against Cincinnati. Joe Flacco running show. Garrett Wilson's involved. They got a young team, and Robert Saleh is a rah-rah coach, and he's trying to get this team to find a winning mentality. The big news for Jets, and I mentioned it already, is that Zach Wilson's back. He's back. I mean, barring some setback, he's going to be the quarterback of the team going forward. And I can't wait to see how, I mean, Joe Flacco kind of meshed with Garrett Wilson, their number one draft pick, or one of their number one draft picks. Is that going to be the same thing with Zach Wilson? Are they going to have chemistry like immediately? Zach Wilson last year relied on Elijah Moore, who's a pretty good receiver too. Is he going to get more involved? It's kind of, we'll see what that offense looks like. Pittsburgh.
And his mom's friend.
Yeah, hey, throw that in there. Pittsburgh, once again, -3.5. They're off a long rest. I mean, they played Thursday night, the game that Dan went to. They did not make a quarterback change. People are clamoring for Kenny Pickett. Trubisky's played pretty well. The game against Cleveland, I mean, people were upset in Pittsburgh about them not taking more shots. Trubisky took more shots downfield against Cleveland.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, Pickett's catch.
Unbelievable.
Dude,
Odell Beckham worthy catch.
Of course, everybody in the stadium was like, oh, it's not a catch, blah, 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 blah. And then everybody staring at the Jumbotron and was like, holy shit, the dude caught the ball. I mean, that was freaking, that was unbelievable. I mean, the coverage was good. He was even getting freaking held. Wasn't there pass interference on it?
Yeah, probably. Yes, there was. But one hand, yeah. These guys are amazing. That catch,
and, you know, I'll give credit where credit is due. That was a phenomenal catch by that kid. It was a phenomenal throw. I mean, that was spectacular. I like Mike Tomlin as a coach, even though he coaches for the Squealers.
Great coach.
I can see the message right now to his team. You just lost to the Browns. You're not going to lose to the Jets, who beat the Browns. I'm on Pittsburgh.
Dan's on Pittsburgh -3.5.
There's no freaking way they lose this game.
The Jets continue their quirky schedule where they got the AFC North tour. Is that right?
Yes. They played every AFC North. That was their whole first 4 games.
I'm going to lay it 2. I don't like it. The over-under being 41.5. This very well could be a field goal game. I think the Jets could win this game. I don't know. Maybe.
I think they could, but
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh -3.5. I will not personally play this game.
They get their new toy back, so somebody's going to think, okay, here we go. We're going to change stuff up, blah, 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 blah. No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a very tricky game. I would lay off this game as far as betting advice, which is what this show is about.
Going off Pitts, puke.
Oh, my God, we're over a minute, over an hour already. Just because I don't think we know what we're going to see with Zach Wilson being the quarterback. 4 o'clock slate starts with the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Carolina. Carolina 1.5 point favorite in this game, over under 44. Arizona's 1-2. Carolina same record, 1-2. Arizona comes off their loss at home against the Los Angeles Rams. I'm not convinced of this team whatsoever. No. I'm not convinced of Cliff Kingsbury.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's like a joystick. I understand that he can take you to the house every time. I'm not convinced of that offense. I think they're a better team than Carolina. I mean, Carolina, they come off a win against New Orleans. Their defense won that game. Their offense sucks. It's in neutral, Baker Mayfield.
Guess who didn't practice today?
Bake?
No. McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah, he'll play. Whatever. Those rest days for running backs. I don't know. Carolina -1.5 in this game. I'm going to take my first road favorite. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals because I think they're a more talented football team. I don't think they're well coached.
No.
I think they have better playmakers. I like Arizona in this game.
I'm going with Arizona.
Next game on the board, New England Patriots travel to Green Bay. Green Bay's a 10-point favorite in this game, but not a lot of points expected, 40. New England 1-2, Green Bay the opposite record, 2-1. New England, they lost to Baltimore. They also lost Mac Jones as their quarterback to a high ankle sprain. Brian Hoyer will be the starting quarterback there. He's a veteran. He knows how to play. I've seen him play plenty of games.
He knows how to play.
I mean, I don't know how much of a drop-off there's going to be from Mac Jones to Brian Hoyer. But that team's so limited. I think New England's a bad football team. I do. And Green Bay, I mean...
Their defense is freaking good.
It is. They come off a win in Tampa against Tampa Bay, the Battle of the Bays last week. The defense played better. The offense is certainly what I would kind of refer to as a work in progress. Aaron Rodgers is trying to work with all brand-new receiving core. Look, the over-under on this game is 40. I think 30 of the points get scored by the Green Bay Packers. I think they get this going. If you're a fantasy player, I do.
I'm thinking 10 is huge.
It's huge. It's a huge number. It's a huge number. That's how little I think of the New England football team. I think they finished last in the division. I think the Jets eclipse them this year. I think that AFC East goes Buffalo, Miami. Even about, I know, in-laws, I know you're like, wait. I know Miami has that early win against Buffalo. I think eventually how it shakes out, it goes Buffalo, Miami, the New York Jets, and then the New England Patriots. I think they're a bad football team, Dan.
10?
10. I'm willing to lay it.
All right. I'm going with Green Bay.
I convinced him. Fantasy players, Romeo Doubs. I think he's going to be the emerging receiver for Aaron Rodgers. He needs one. I don't think it's Christian Watson. I don't think it's Alan Lazard. Go with Romeo Doubs to take a flyer. Next game on the board, Denver Broncos travel to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. Raiders are 2-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 44.5. Denver's 2-1 on the season. The Raiders are fucking winless, man.
That's shocking.
It is. I thought they were a pretty good football team. I like to talk about the away team first. Denver won, against San Francisco last week. They're 2-1, but their offense
was another awful game.
Awful. By the way, do you remember San Francisco was your elephant pick?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett's had a really rough start to his coaching career. Talk about tough starts to coaching careers. How about Josh McDaniels starting out 0-3 again? He had a really tough time in Denver as their head coach when he was super young. He had like 32 or some shit.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, this is a bad start for McDaniels. Look, the Denver offense is like stuck in neutral. Russell Wilson was supposed to go there. They pay him $250-some million. I heard Eli Manning say on the Manning podcast on Monday night they should have probably paid the fucking punter $250 million and not Russ, because he's the one doing all the damn work right now.
I can't. I watch the Manning cast when it's on. It is so much more entertaining,
fun, isn't it?
Insightful than them idiots doing the freaking game.
My dude Pat McAfee
he was
in the middle. I love Pat.
Like a Tracy Morgan is better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
It was Monday night. It was my birthday night. I still went to bed. Me on Sundays when the Bears play at 1 o'clock, which is my favorite time slot for them to play. It certainly is. But meanwhile, the booze gets queued up at 12:45 p.m. The joint doesn't stop until around 10 p.m. I need Monday nights in bed early. I was in bed by halftime. I did not see the Tracy Morgan performance. The football game sucked. The football game sucked. It was boring. Tracy Morgan may have had a great performance on the Manning cast. But anyway, we're going wildly off track. Vegas -2 in this game. It's a must-win game for this football team. Devontae Adams came out already. He's like pissed off. I want the ball more already. I mean, him and Derek Carr are like buddies from college and this, that. I'll take the lead on this game. I think Las Vegas is a more talented football team, and they have to fucking win. They have to win. The season's over if you don't win.
Yeah.
Vegas -2. I like the line a lot.
With Vegas.
All right, Dan, our agreement. We're on to Sunday Night Football. Kansas City goes to Tampa Bay. Kansas City's 2-1. Tampa Bay's also 2-1. Kansas City's a 2-point favorite down in Tampa. As long as they play the game there, the game very well could end up in Minneapolis and Minnesota. I know Tampa Bay, the Buccaneer football team, is already practicing down in Miami. They went backwards in regards to the storm, if you will, to try to avoid the weather and things like that. Kansas City, they come off a game where they should have won in Indianapolis. There was all kinds of mistakes. They outgained them. There was turnovers in the red zone.
I don't know what the fight was between Mahomes and Bieniemy, because Bieniemy is supposed to be the next up-and-coming coach.
He's been the next up-and-coming coach for the last 3 years.
He never gets hired.
Because Mahomes thinks he sucks. And like,
he must interview poorly.
Just let Mahomes be the offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
Let him call his own plays. Yeah. I think the cat's talented enough to do it.
I think that was the.
He didn't like the call. Yeah, he didn't like the fucking call. He didn't. I mean, Tampa Bay. I mean, they're banged up. We talked about injuries a lot already on this podcast this week. Unfortunately, it's reared its head within the first quarter pole of the season. They're banged up on the offensive line. Playmakers, they did get Mike Evans back. He couldn't play last week because of suspension with that fight with Marcus Lattimore the week previously. I told Dan in the season prediction show, I don't buy this team. I don't buy the age. I don't buy,
Tampa Bay?
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think Kansas City's a way better football team. I like this line a lot. I think Kansas City wins this game.
Yep.
And I think they win it convincingly. The line's only -2. I'll buy that 100 times over.
I'm taking Kansas City.
All right, Dan, on the same page. That's great. Monday Night Football is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to San Francisco. The Rams 2-1.
Wait, and I didn't bring this up last week, but is Aaron Donald playing?
He's 100% playing.
He should be suspended.
Oh, my goodness. We're not.
For throwing helmets at people.
He did. 3-week suspension. Yeah. He's off it.
No, it should have been more than 6.
It was 3. He's done. No. He didn't play the first 3 weeks, Dan.
He did play, which is freaking ludicrous.
He 100% played.
A joke.
That's David. San Francisco, 2.5-point favorite in this game. Over-under is 42.5. Rams, they come off their win on the road in Arizona. They're a good football team. I don't care what anybody says. They haven't really put it together completely so far. San Francisco, they have Garoppolo, and he's going to be the thing going forward. The quarterback, no Trey Lance. We all know that already.
Yeah, okay, but hey, Jimmy, okay, all training camp, just stay over there in the corner. Don't look at any of our playbooks. You're not going to practice. Don't do anything. So just stay over there. Oh, wait, we're going to sign you because we need you because Trey Lance sucks. And then, oh, my God, he got hurt. Damn it, we should have given Jimmy the playbook fucking 2 months ago.
And Garoppolo only made $250,000 last week because they lost. He would have made $350,000 if they won. He didn't play well.
Well, he's rusty. What do you expect?
He did it. Dan Orlovsky, the safety situation, see him run out of the end zone?
Yeah. And that's so funny because I knew Orlovsky was a prick. I never liked that dude. And then when I saw the replay, I was like, that's exactly why. Why are you commenting on TV? Why?
Dan doesn't like any announcers. They lost. You know what the final score of that fucking game was?
What?
11-10.
Oh, that game?
That's like a tiebreaker in a fucking tennis match. Get the fuck out of here.
Sunday night game?
Horrible.
Sunday night, yeah.
Horrible. Here's the deal. I mean, they're on San Francisco. Garoppolo has to play better. The Rams are a really good football team, if you ask me. Their kryptonite has been San Francisco. It's been San Francisco for like the last 2 or 3 years. They can't beat fucking San Francisco. I'm done with kryptonite. I think the Rams are a considerably better football team. I think they smoke the Rams. Yeah. Or they smoke the 49ers.
I'm taking the Rams on this one.
All right. Road.
Even though freaking Aaron Donald shouldn't be playing that.
I think the Rams should be favored in this game. I love this game. It may be an elephant pick. We're on to elephant picks, Dan. Do you got one picked out? No, I don't, which is super annoying. Maybe annoying for Dan. I got it. I'm going to take, how about them Cowboys? I think they're a considerably better football team. I like their momentum. I like the fact that they know that Dak Prescott's coming back next week. They're like, we got to push this record from 2-1 to 3-1. and we're in a good playoff position to deal with Philadelphia and maybe a wild card or win the division, whatever it is. They got optimism. How about them Cowboys -3 as my favorite pick on the board this week.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Against the Jets?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. All right, very good. I mean, Dan's allowed his prerogative. We do this college football thing. ACC battle, real quick. I know we're running long, like crazy long again. The North Carolina State Wolfpack, 10th ranked in the country, travel to Clemson, Death Valley as they call it, 5th ranked Clemson. Clemson 6.5-point favorites in this game, just shy of a touchdown.
Who did NC State play?
NC, I don't know. I know that I didn't write it down. I know Clemson won that game, that crazy game
Wake
against
Forest
Warwick.
should have won it.
Overtime win, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, Dane showed up here randomly. He needed to pick up something that he had left here from the podcast.
I needed to pump beer into my system because we just got our ass waxed.
He did. Dan showed up here randomly. I wasn't here. I'm like,
you're like 2 minutes from where we got destroyed.
Dan called me. I was like 15, 20 minutes away. I'm like, here's the code to the garage. He came in. He made himself at home. He turned on the TV. He had a Bud Light going or some other beer going. I don't know what beer he had going.
Whatever was in the fridge.
He made himself at home, which he's certainly allowed to. It's good to have friends. I have like 2 or 3 of them. That's all I really want because otherwise it's overload if you ask me. Both these teams like to run the ball. DJ, unpronounceable last name with lots of vowels. Ugulie, whatever his name is, played pretty well. I mean, he's played a lot better than he has since kind of his beginning, his opening, his freshman year. He looks like a viable player. Both teams 4-0. Huge ACC game. Who takes lead in this?
Man.
Clemson -6.5. What you got, Dan?
I have to go with Clemson just because I don't know who NC State played.
I don't know who they played last week. What I do know is the over-under in this game is 42.5, and 6.5 is too big for me with that low of a number for an over-under. I'm going to take the Wolfpack. Getting the 6.5 points. I think it's a close game. I think it comes down to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I'll play it back on Friday, and either I'll like it or I won't like it. But I think they were a lot of fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back to do it next week.
Go Browns!
Go Browns! Go Bears!